Yeah. Let me mute the stream on my screen so I don't get echo.
All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the London stream. We have a special guest in the house today with a party shirt. We've got Ash tuning in with us today, guys. What's going on, man?
Morning. I'm very good. How are you?
Good, thank you, man. Good. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Let me just, you guys on YouTube, just let me do a quick audio check. Make sure you guys can hear us all loud and clear. There may be a little bit of lag, but we should be able to fix it. Everyone on YouTube, you guys can see us and hear us all good? Ash, small audio, echo. Okay. Ash has an echo. Yeah, it's no, it's not you. It's my side. It picks up my computer speaker through the microphone.
See, we're showing our age. Well, definitely showing my age.
Oh wait, try now. Hello.
Test. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's better. I think that's better. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You guys on YouTube, remember drop a like for the stream. Sounds like karaoke in China.
Sounds like a good laugh, though, eh?
That's how we started the morning. Any of you guys on YouTube who may or may not be familiar with Ash, do you want to give the people a little intro into yourself, man? How long you've been trading for and what you focus on?
Well, I was introduced, I'd probably say around 2016, 2017. Probably let's say 2017. Let's try and stay as solid as we can. And my introduction to the space wasn't the same as your typical person that you see in the space nowadays, because I intentionally was looking to travel the world and earn an income online, coming from a previous background of sales, fitness, those two have combined as well. So I just Googled how to make money online whilst I was traveling, and I looked at the different avenues available, and it was either, e-commerce, coaching, agency, or trading. Those are the kind of ones that rose to the top.
Yep.
Looked into trading, I was like, this one just requires the least amount of effort, and I think I could do something like this versus these other avenues which look a bit more challenging.
Yep.
So I spent like an hour a day whilst traveling, just studying, trading, and started in the Forex. I think a lot of people from the UK typically start in Forex because that's the most exposure that you get when you look up online or social media. I think in the American market, it's definitely the futures that stand out more than anything else. Just studying an hour a day. And then when it got towards, let's say 2019, 2020, just before COVID, essentially,
Yep.
I reached a point where I could see some consistency.
Nice.
But the issue was, if I put all my money into the broker, it would then not enable me to live.
Yep.
So I Googled, investors in trading, and I came across FTMO, and this was the early days of FTMO. Like there was that was a different landscape back then. So I literally came from a different introduction to the space. So my way of learning was all kind of self-taught. I looked for prop firms. I wasn't advertised prop firms.
Yep.
And then, when I first started with FTMO, I was just making bank, and it was like, you know, you spend all this time studying and learning about trading, and it's incredible. And then once COVID hit, the instruments that I trade became untradeable, like gold, the spread on it, the volatility, it was just untradeable from a CFD standpoint. So I pivoted, and that pivoting then caused me to kind of lose my edge. And then I had essentially just to, after like I think 2 years or a year of living in Vietnam, I had to go back to the UK, start again, you know, which sucked. But you know, you keep going because you've invested so much time,
Yep.
effort, energy into learning the skill. And then that's when I really locked in, and that's when I started to make really, 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 really good money.
Nice.
It seemed like crazy, but you know, I was going from a minimum wage income to like 10, 40 grand a month,
Yep.
and it was just like overnight.
It's huge, man.
And that's when I was living in Thailand, living to Vida Loca. You know, people saw that if they followed my old Instagram. Unfortunately, I got hacked, and you know, then I put a lot of money in Luna FTX because I wanted to live off interest, right? And I was like,
Yep.
what's the best interest? What does everyone put their money in the crypto space? Because that's a new industry. And I thought, well, you know, if everyone's putting their money in, why is that a bad bet? You know, turns out it was a bad bet. So, you know, all your kind of money that you got put away then evaporates, and then you go into this horrible death spiral. So that death spiral was pretty horrific because everything that you worked so hard for and you know you never thought you'd see again was then ripped away.
Yep.
And once you're in that space, it's really, really, really hard to get out. You know, and that's why I disappeared from social media, because I just wasn't the same person, right?
Yep.
So I spent essentially a year just locked in a room trying to regain my humanity, which was hard because it's hard going from nothing to something. But when you go from nothing to something to below nothing, people, you know, they see it, but they can't feel it. And
Yep.
that's what people don't understand. You know, they might think, oh, you know, I feel sorry for you, la 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 la, but you don't feel what I feel. And once you reach that kind of low and make it out, because some people don't make it out, unfortunately, but I was lucky enough that, you know, I stuck to it and got out of that mindset, that mind space. And then slowly but surely, you know, managed to find a job. That was really hard as well, surprisingly. You know, I never struggled to find a job before. And, you know, when you're starting from nothing, you've got parents in your ear, and it's hard. But once I finally got a job, and that was driving, and then I started to get back into trading because I had a bit more expendable income. And yeah, then eventually the trading was coming back. You know, my edge was starting to come through, and I realized it wasn't necessarily my trading that was the issue; it's my mental
Yep.
side of things. So I feel like that's where a lot of traders struggle. It's, you know, I'd say 90 to 80% of people that have been around for at least 2 to 4 years. I'd say the 4-year mark is the better mark. You know what you're doing.
100%.
It's that small tip that changes the mental edge, and unfortunately, that's where you can't be taught. It's something that you have to literally brute force yourself through, and some people get it quicker than others. But yeah, I think there's an echo. I don't know if anyone else can hear an echo, but I can hear an echo.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit. I think it's my mic picking up your audio through my computer. I probably should have brought headphones, but I think
I've got some earphones.
I know I don't have any with me. I should have whacked someone like you.
What is this?
Rookie. No, that's good, man. It's crazy how, like, I was the same as you. Like, when I first started getting into, like, prop firms only, like, 5 years ago as well, like 2020. It's like, it's crazy how much even back then it was, like, such an unknown thing. It's like, now it's, like, the norm. I was like, when I first started, I was like, fuck yeah, I got to save up this much capital to be able to trade. I'm like, it's going to take me ages. But now it's like, prop firms are everywhere. It's like, not even that long ago that we didn't really know what it was.
Yeah, and I feel like the there's a big stigma around prop firms, and it's kind of self-inflicted by the prop firms because there's a lot of bad actors get involved in this space because they're the ones willing to take the risk. But also, a lot of people that have money. This is what really grinds my gears, especially on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Well, I call it X because it's easier. People on X, they're always, belittling people that want to try and get into the prop firm space. And,
Mm-hmm.
I can understand why people see it as a casino because, in essence, it is. But the casinos can, the people that have edges in casinos. And with prop trading and personal account trading, they're two different beasts. But you can master both, if you really put your time and effort into it. So I got burned bad by a firm because otherwise I'll be up over 60,000 to date this year with trade. So they burned me pretty badly, and that was another stumbling block. Once you come from that dark place and you're doing a job you don't particularly like, you're trading from a van, you're trading off a small screen. People don't realize how hard that is because it's really hard. I
Mm-hmm.
make it look easy or
Yep.
easier. And then the reason why over the past 2 weeks where I've earned close to 30K and been paid in paid that it's because I'm trading from my laptop. I'm not trading from a small screen in a van. So that you see this, like I say, I was able to make it off a small screen. Let's see if I can find the picture. Trading off a small screen every day, and people kind of didn't believe it. And this, I was making 20,000 odd trades.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's the picture there. See if it will.
Van life trading. Yeah, Mike, you live in the van trading life. Love it, man. Love it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's crazy. That's the grind.
So that was my setup.
That's mad.
I didn't have all these fancy big screens, and I was still getting on leaderboards, making payouts. So now I'm trading better because I'm not having to do that. But you can still find a job that enables you to be able to trade. And people belittle 9 to 5s, are F 9 to 5s, but without 9 to 5s, you'll never break out of trading. And I think another reason why I stumbled before when I went full time is because I didn't have that secondary source of income. For yourself, you've got your affiliate income, you've got your shirt club income, you've got your YouTube income. I'm sure that's very minimal, but you've got other things dripping into the pot. 100%. Whilst I just had my trading income. So like a shark, if I don't eat, I die. So unfortunately, I died.
Yep.
But the Phoenix back from the dead, bigger, brighter, shinier than ever.
It's. I think it's true what you say. It's like there's. I think, like you say, like so many people get to trading for 3+ years and are still not quite there, and think it's oh, now I need to learn some sort of different secret strategy. Where it's man, the biggest hurdle in trading is managing our psychology and doing anything we can to detach from the money as well. The less you focus on making money, the more money that you will end up making in trading, which doesn't really make sense, but it's fucking true.
Yeah, I think it's people. It's not necessarily people that are trying to rush the process. I think it's when you're coming from a place of desperation, and I see it. So many amazing traders, they fall over the hurdles of, they need to make X amount, or they had a really profitable month. They're trying to then chase that, and it's not. I'm looking for. It doesn't supplement your life in any shape, and people have a real big stigma around red days or losing periods, and that's the name of the game, because that's where your true edge really lies. So, for example, if I didn't get stuck in those couple of days of drawback, I think Wednesday and Thursday, Friday and Monday, I would have absolutely ripped the markets yesterday and the day before. I ripped them. So it's about managing those red days. It's not to look down upon them. It's about keeping them as minimal as possible. And I think that just comes with, and unfortunately, time is the hardest thing.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I've got an idea what might work for the echo. If you mute your mic when I speak, and then when you want to speak, to unmute it.
Yeah, it's all
We're
good. Yeah,
morale now,
every time you're speaking, I'm muting mine in the background here, so it should be all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Right. Should we look at some charts then?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Before we jump into gold, if anyone doesn't know, you don't just trade the DAX. Do you mainly trade DAX, right?
Yeah. So I'd probably say I'm like 78% DAX. And then that's for new London session. London session is predominantly DAX. I'll trade gold if DAX is looking a bit sideways or the setup of gold is looking too appetizing. And then New York, I'll say 80% of the time it will be NASDAQ, and then maybe the Dow Jones. But the Dow, I think I need to just calm down on the Dow Jones because that's what's ripping my bum all apart. But the thing is, the problem with the Dow Jones is it's the one I've made the most profit on, and the one that absolutely just like canes my like drawdown all my profits. Like the thing is, it's one of them. It's like a high ticket cost item. Like I might pay, instead of, let's say for example, I'll risk $1,000 per trade, and I'll get, out of those 4 trades, I'll win 2 of them, and so I'll win 8 Rs or 8K, right? But with Dow Jones, I feel like I'll lose like 4 trades, which is like 4K, but then I'll walk away with 20. So it's like, fuck, it's handling that drawdown period. But I know at the end it's like a higher losing ratio.
Let's have a look. I know you always I always see your stories of the DAX and getting some incredible moves. It's been so bullish this year. After that, same as
it's not even that. It's just, I think it's such an easy thing to trade. Because I know we were talking for a little bit before, and when you really know how to master a market, it's easy. But I feel like with gold, it's a level-based instrument rather than a session-based. So the DAX 100%. Is very much session.
Yep.
And that's why I'm able to maximize in those 2, 3, 4 hour windows.
Yep.
Some days you'll see like 15 minutes and I'm done.
Yeah.
And other days I might be there till 10, 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Not afternoon, in the morning, sorry.
Yep. It's true. And people say like, what's the best time to trade gold? There honestly isn't. Like gold moves when gold wants to move. Yeah. That's the fun game on gold. Like sometimes London Open can be great and you can get good volume. Other times it can come at like 10, 11 a.m. London time. I always have to set alerts on gold. Whereas that's why it's nice you trade the DAX and it's going to be moving well in your 2 hours of the open and you're just focused on that. How many contracts do you use? Someone's asking for the DAX.
For me, it depends on your risk, right? So I think it's different per account size, per person. So let me have a quick look because I've got a futures account now. I know I was sent to you before, but with the Funder Pro side. So I'm from the CFD side, and I'm going to be. Long story short, I'm going to be what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I'm losing my head. I'm going to be like an entity to learn how to switch from CFDs to futures. And I'm going to do it through the Funder Pro avenue.
Yep, nice.
Because, I've had really great experience with the CFD side, and they are looking to, the future side is new, but it's been around for a few months. So, if you can still get the same end result as in daily payouts paid within an hour, it's wild stuff, and you can get up to $1 million in funding. The rules are very simple. It's not like there's 101 hoops like Apex. So I always find if you can just stick with 1-2 firms, you don't need any more, because realistically, 100%. How many firms will offer you $1 million in funding, daily payouts, trailing drawdown disappears after like 4% or whatever it may be, I'm not sure. But the rules are very fair. I feel like some firms, they might show you a really big carrot, but in order to get to the carrot, you've got to jump through 100 different times.
Always the way. my voice is too low. So for the guys asking which prop for DAX, Ash uses Thunder Pro on the CFD side, but now they're moving to the future side as well.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to load with the future side. It's one of the only firms that have made it very clear if you want to trade DAX, you need to add another subscription, and then the same with gold, you need to add another subscription. And they're not expensive. They're like, I think for the DAX, it's like $23 a month. For the gold,
good.
It's like $10. It's chump change, right?
Having options to add things on is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, but they make it easy. Like if you platform, if you want to add a subscription, it's just in your dashboard, add subscription. I'm going to do it. I think it's a month. It's a beginning of the month thing. So it's not worth me doing now because I'd only pay, $25 or whatever, $24 for 3 days use. I might as well just wait a couple of days. I'm not, that eager to pay for something and then pay it again in a few days if I can just be patient. But I mean, a lot of people just trade NASDAQ or SPX right with the futures side, so you don't even need that add-on. It's only like yourself that,
especially
I think for a lot of people that think CFDs to futures, they want a familiar product like gold.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people at the CFD side come from a Forex background, and I feel like gold is attached to that Forex thing, but it's not really Forex. It is. But it's put in that bag, but it's not.
Yeah.
And my keyword of advice to a lot of people that say, how do you get good at a certain style of trading or this, that, and the other? In my personal opinion, you can only really trade a commodity or an equity index. I think Forex is just dog shit. I don't know like 2 profitable Forex traders, like 2, not even probably. But they're all swing traders as well. So a lot of people that trade Forex profitably are swing traders.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see people try to day trade it, they're using wildly massive lot sizes. Whilst if you try to do that on a real broker, you'll get slipped, you'll be ripped apart. So if you try and ever transition, you're never going to be able to transition unless you're adding like loads of contracts. But then it's still it's not an efficient way to be learning. And Forex markets are very choppy. Whilst I feel like with equities, especially, they are trending markets or ranging markets. There's no real middle ground. Whilst I feel like with Forex, it's just chop suey, traps. At least with gold, you can identify the traps. We were talking earlier about gold, how you could have caught this sell.
Yep, it's a beautiful sell.
Because you had a bull trap, so at the very top there, and then once that bull trap got to that recent low, came up to that recent support, turned resistance, and then you could sell from there and just carry the whole way through once you saw that 30-minute close or the second bearish close at that level. Because you're trading with momentum, you've had so many other confluences. You're playing the law of odds with gold. I feel like it's you got to roll the dice. It's not one of them. If you wait too long, you've missed. You can't not miss the move, but your risk to reward will be lower because obviously you have to manage the downside. The upside's unlimited, the downside is limited.
100%. This was a lovely sell as well. And that's my main. That's like people always ask like, what's my confluences for gold? And it's literally them traps that you speak of. Like the biggest thing I have to have before I get into any trade is, can I see like a level where I think most people are getting trapped and setting their stops? Like for instance, this short today, which was fucking beautiful, is a lot of people would have been stuck in something like that. So it's like as soon as you can identify that, that's like great. As soon as gold breaks out, easy targets, and then you got an easy trade. If I don't have targets for the day and like all my liquidity's been hit, then I have to sit on my hands for a while. But for the most part, it doesn't take that long for gold to form them new traps and get people caught off, and then you get your trade. Like this trade at pretty early, 3 a.m. London time, was a solid short.
Yeah. Also messaged Marco in the chat. I know you mentioned it before, but I'm Ashley Garlic in the chat on the YouTube.
There you go, man. Nice.
If you do want to try Thunder Pro, like I say, I know you represent Topstep and that's fine. But if you're looking for another firm, like if you're maxed out, looking to just get those daily payouts, I think daily payouts, like you saw, I'm sure you followed my stories and stuff, mate. I took my trade, requested a payout, went to the shop, I've not even had enough time to get back from the shop. I was paid $2,000 in the space of 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's
like,
amazing.
What firm is doing that? And then I could trade the account. And I traded the account, made another 4K mid payout.
Yeah, it's so good.
You know, there's no other firm that is doing what Thunder Pro are doing. So, you know, people think, oh, they're new. They're not new. They've been around since 2023, the start of 2023.
Yep.
And I've been watching them on the sidelines for ages. And I was like, I've not seen any bad feedback. You know, you go to the Trustpilot and you see, you know, any negative feedback they do address. So, for example, they switched from, on the CFD side, they switched from what they're currently operating on, which was like a higher commission per trade, but, you know, tighter spreads. And then they pivot to no commissions, but the spreads were, you know, quite high. And even I noticed them on the DAX. I was like, it's, you know, it doesn't affect me too much, but I noticed it. And they've now managed to bring that down considerably, so it's very manageable. But I always think, you know, for getting paid in less than 30 minutes in a day and then being able to trade again, and then
being able to trade again straight away is amazing.
I would happily have a higher spread or, you know, commission to have like being able to, because that's a lot of people think, right, I'll make my 2%, 1%, I'll wait my 2 weeks and I'll get a payout. Whilst I was making 1% payout, 1% payout, 1% payout, I think people are so fixated as well about going for those big numbers. I managed to make, you know, 26K over, essentially, I had the account from the 6th. I didn't trade it for a few days. So over basically essentially 2 weeks of active trading, not even, I was managed to extract 26,000. Just 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%.
Yeah, 100%. I always say the same. If you build up the prop firms, man, you have to reward yourself, because if you just try and chase the numbers and building up like a big buffer, it's like you're gonna go on tilt at some point and give it all back. It's like, man, as soon as I get a decent amount, like, it doesn't even have to be huge. Just, you know, take the money out, pay for whatever the cost was, and reward yourself a little bit, and then job done. You've made your money. Whereas people are so focused on, let me get like 20, 30, 40K and then I'll take a payout. It's like, nah, man, if you get your good couple of trades and you're eligible for a payout, man, take it.
Yeah, I always say to people, like, the money's not yours until it's in your account, right? So people say, oh, do you want to leave a buffer? No, I don't want to leave a buffer, because like you just said, you can go on tilt, which I did the other day, and you could just give away free money. It's free money. I say to people, like,
I know,
it's
crazy.
Here's my trade, I take it because it's free. There's no risk on my end. The firm takes all the risk, and I'm sure that before they didn't have a 1% minimum withdrawal, because otherwise I wouldn't be risking anywhere near the amount I would be risking per trade. I'd be risking maybe $300 max, make my 2 hours or whatever, take my money, because you got to remember, you're not trading a 200K account and trading a 20K account. With 100%. Futures, you're not trading a 100K account, you're trading a 3K account. So people get lost in the numbers, but the reality is you're trading a small account with high leverage.
100%.
That's what you're trading.
100%.
But yeah, to what's his name? Someone else just Scott. Yeah, Scott. They do have a futures side, and you can, like I say, they've got 10% off of my code, which is Ashton. But also they're doing a no activation fee if you sign up now, between now and the 2nd of July. So that's also an added plus.
That's good, man.
And the rules are pretty simple. I always say, like, you know, if you just trade like a normal human, like you should be anyway, the only things you can't do is hedging. I'd avoid news. You can. I think on the website it says you can hold through news, but you can't enter during 2-minute windows. The 2 minutes before, 2 minutes after. But I would just say, just don't be in a trade full stop.
Yeah, don't even trade news full stop. Yeah.
And then you have a trailing drawdown until you get to, let's say, 100K account, until you get to 4,000. Then after it's just, you know, whatever, just the max drawdown. That's the only time that I would have a buffer in an account, just to have more wiggle room. In terms of the payout, I think how they're operating is to stop churning, because I know a lot of people do churn on the future side, especially. It's like 60%, 70%, and then it goes to 80% on the third payout, and then it's daily. daily
That's
payout
good.
requests. So after
Daily's
your
good.
third one, you get your payout. So from a business standpoint, they're doing that to stop people, like I say, churning, because
Yep.
otherwise people will just keep buying accounts, burn, like, over
Full
time
margin,
they'll
yeah.
hit a jackpot. They will hit, but the business will not make a single dime. They can't monetize any of that data.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and from what I've been told, the trades are A books. It's an A book prop firm.
Nice.
So your trades are being taken on live liquidity, whether it's the same account size, whether it's risk down, risk up, etc. You're a data analyst, right? You provide data, they then act on it. And as far as I'm
Yeah.
aware, it's A book. I've been told by everyone that I've spoken to, it's A book. So I think if they see you just burning accounts non-stop and just high margining every trade, they just ban you in it. But I don't know anyone that's been banned, and the people that have been banned, they haven't paid. As far as when no one's been denied payouts, so every single one of my friends that's been trading with them have taken very big payouts. I had one guy
good,
take
man.
100K in 1 month,
Yeah, it's crazy.
140K, another trader, 30K for Arthur. He took, I think, 20, 30K. The first week he was with them, Arthur just being a monster as usual.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a
Like, the
different
amount of
animal.
in the shadow realm, he's like cleared over $1 million in payouts.
Yeah,
Like,
it's insane.
and
Insane.
I love Arthur, but he just can't be asked for content. And I was like, I get it. Like,
Yeah, I don't
if I had
blame
money,
him.
I would not be bothered either.
Yeah, $1 million in payouts is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Is it buy gold? Nah, I personally, no, I wouldn't buy gold. If you guys are wondering what we're looking at, the trade today on gold was shorting into these lows. It's not to say you can't pull back, but what do we want to short after a 360 tick drop down today? We were short in Asia down into these levels, and yesterday into New York. But now that you're back down here, you're going to have to see what gold's going to do down
You just
here.
got to wait, right?
Yeah,
You
have to wait.
Because if it's going to give a buy signal, you just have to wait for the. Essentially, you need to wait for a support to form. So where you can see these wicks are currently, wait for price to come out of there, and then see if you can come inside that range again, and then bounce back out. Once you get that bounce out, it's indicating bulls are taking over some little bit,
Yeah.
But I would be married to it, so I would take it to either the VWAP or your 2Rs. I know you go for like a
Little pullback.
tick style of take profit, whilst I would go for a RR style of profit.
I think
I
feel like the only people probably trying to buy this on gold are people who probably missed out on the sell. Like if you got the sell, you wouldn't be looking for longs right now. Like the likelihood is when gold has a big push like this, and this is a big push for gold, we're not just going to rip back up out of nowhere. With no news or not even being New York session, it's likely going to create some space for quite a while. But it will break out at some point, and when it does, rather than trying to force in this range now, just wait for it and you'll get a much easier trade. But if you try and force this range right now and get chopped up, by the time it does break out, you won't be able to catch it.
Yeah. If it looks too easy, you're about to get violated.
Yep, 100%. With the DAX, do you have any outlook for today? Anything you're looking at? Unfortunately, guys on YouTube, we can't share screens just yet, so we'll have to do it off my screen. But anything you're watching today?
I can switch. Where's the settings? Is it this button? No, that's a different language. I want it in English. There was a button I clicked earlier and I could switch it. Oh, there we go. Settings. Screen share. Ooh. There we go. So you should be able to see it now, yeah?
Oh, there we go. Let me make this bigger. There we go. Let me make this bigger. Let me get my head out of the way. Let's get this a bit bigger. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So, long story short, only look for longs because of how we're shaping up, right? Ball. Everything saying balls. And the next level is here. And I'll probably say the next, for today, realistically, we can get up like here. Because this is where the next kind of noisy area is. I doubt we'd get up here. I think that'd be asking a bit too much. It's not unrealistic, but so I would just wait for a pull back into this area.
Yep.
It could just go. It could just like leave this area right now, because like the other day with the Nasdaq, I was trying to wait for the manipulation play and it didn't go. So it all depends on your RR. If you're happy with a 1 RR, I would just enter now. You could, let's say, target this level. That's doable, and you could probably get 1 R there.
Yep.
You know, unless you wanted to wait for this level to get swept. You know, you could have your limit order down there and go like that. So when you're just looking for longs, it's really simple. You just wait until it looks really obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So you might, when it opens, it might just go whoosh, straight away, then come down, get to the VWAP, do some sweeping.
Yep.
And then once you get like a break of like a level like that, you can enter, and then you can take it through that recent high or the continuation.
I love that your analysis isn't like super over complex either. Like that's always say to guys, like, the biggest thing is just having good execution, and just if you see the trade, just take it.
Yeah, I mean, like yesterday for London, it was just buy every dip. So this was the previous thing on the 3 minute, just easy entries. You can take it to this noisy area, or you, like I say, I was just focusing on 4 hours and then 4 hours again.
Yep.
And then you could have re-entered here. But it's later in the afternoon, so you might as well be trading the Nasdaq.
Yeah.
Because you could see this level was holding, right? We had the wick here from an area that it broke out from before.
Yeah.
Once we had that close above here, you don't have to wait for any more confirmation. How much more do you need? And that was off a 30-minute chart.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the 15-minute chart, we closed above. If you look at the 3 minute, 3 minutes is what I really like to execute off.
3 minutes.
3 minute. Yeah, it's broken, really. So broken. So once you see all this is a typical reversal pattern here as well. But like I say, it's better to take in the same trade off than the Nasdaq. You probably would have got more points or RR.
Yep.
So once, like I say, you got to that place that broke out from before, this area then need to held, and it held. Whereas the next area it needs to hold here. So reason why is there's all this noise and price is battling for that. Once you see price bounce from here, you can just enter the long. You can be conservative with the stop down here.
Yeah.
Or you can, like I like to go for about 30-point stops, 30 points, and you can either go for 2 hours, you just kiss it there, or to the recent highs here, because you're not going to get a trade like this in the afternoon.
Huge trade.
You'll get it in the London session, but you won't get it. Like I say, you would have just got it towards the end of the close, so you would have held that trade all afternoon. Whilst with the Nasdaq, I shared it on my Instagram. You could have caught the same trade here, from here, and ride it for like 4 hours, 6 hours, and you might as well just trade the equity session. So when I see people trade like the Nasdaq in London, I'm like, you can, but you're not going to get the good RR. You can on the case, but the thing is, people see these occasional times where they get a good risk to reward on the Dow Jones or Nasdaq in London session. They think, all right, that's how it must operate all the time.
Yeah.
When I see people trade the Asia session, they have, over the past 2-3 months or more maybe.
Yep.
Asia's been a great session to trade gold, but it's not always like that. It will come a time when it goes back to what it usually like, which is just chop sideways, and people are trying to get risk to reward. Yeah, you're lucky to get 1 or 2 if you're being smart with your stocks.
And it can people always say to me like, check Nasdaq in London. It's like I check it, but it's like it's one of them where it's like if you try and trade it in London just because it worked one time, it's like, man, the days where it goes quiet in London, it's like it's not worth mentally draining yourself to hope that it moves. It's like if you want to trade Nasdaq, just trade it in a session where it's like it's guaranteed to be volume. What do you want to be in a session where it's like where it might move? It's like they're the times where you get so drained just sat there watching it do nothing, where it's like, man, you could be doing something much more productive than hoping that it moves in London.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of people here will be stuck in FOMO. I mean, you could enter here, but it's quite risky because we are breaking out from this area, but it's a big level, right? Because if you look left, look at this noise here. We've got a level here. We've got breakthrough, and we've not tested it before yet. We've got a level just above it there. So there's a lot of noise for it to try and get through. But like I say, likelihood is it's going to break up today. Everything is showing it, even though you could say, right, the highs are getting lower, so that could be an indication that it could just coil up. It could just bounce around, maybe potentially sweep, come back inside the range and just do nothing for all session, and then New York then back out. Or it could coil up and then come back to a nicer area to buy from, and then do the move.
Do you find do you have like a specific time in London that you like to watch? You get on it quite early, don't you? Yeah, quite early London time.
Yeah. GMT time, you'll find 6:45. There will be a move.
Yep.
8% of the time there'll be a move. It's typically when. So let's have a look here. 6:15. So yeah. So 6:45. We've had it, quote unquote. If you're scalping, you could have scalped that. Could have caught the gap up and how much. Stop. I don't like to play it too tight. I think the stop should be pretty tight here. You could have a 10-point stop and then get 10 points out, I reckon.
Yep.
Yeah. Right, but that's for me. That's a bit too scary. Like I'd be pooping my pants. So yeah, you're getting a bounce off the VWAP. There's so many things playing in your favor, but stops are a bit like 20 is the limit I would go for, but 10 is just nah, man. It can move 10 points in 10 seconds.
Yeah. Do you trade like 5 or you got only 3, but you use like more of your high time frame buys and then execute off the low time frame?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 4 outs. So like yesterday, I was looking for this gap fill here. Once I saw this bullish closure off the 4 hour, it's just like, right, I just got to wait for the pullbacks and buy on the pullbacks.
Yep.
And I find the 3 minute is just a hybrid between the 1 minute and the 5 minute.
Yeah, nice.
And I just find that sometimes it moves so fast on the 5 minute, you can't catch the move.
Yeah.
And the 1 minute is just, it's tricky. It's just tricky in general. But yeah, I like to execute off the 3 because I feel like the 3 is all that I'll need. But yeah.
3 minute secret time frames coming out today.
I say it all the time though. It's no secret at my end. But yeah, I think I would have taken this trade. I reckon I would have took that.
Do we have any? We got any news? We got any news today? Let's have a look.
I don't know, I checked.
PCE price index 1:30 London time. XAU gold's just ranging. You're not really missing too much on gold. Gold's just going to create space for a while. London Open, you might see something on gold, but gold needs to range for a little
bit. Gold's just setting up traps. Gold's just going to set up. People are going to long it. Look, they're probably all longed here, and immediately 20 points down.
Yep. It's going to mess around for a while.
And I've been there because I know what gold's like. It's an absolute bastard. Oh look, it's close above, and then it's just like, right, I'm in, and then immediately, woof.
Yep.
Oh, but yeah, the thing is with gold, I can trade it, but I just don't trust it like I trust indices. Like I can trust the DAX. It's like, right, if I'm wrong, I'm just wrong.
Yeah.
But with gold, it's like, be right, takes me out, and then I just get violated. I just feel like, I just have trust issues now.
Yeah, that's what gold loves to do. Loves to get people, like, can have the liquidity guys, but sometimes it can do it like a few times before it actually has the move.
Yeah.
I like 2 minute. Yeah, nice. Yo, what's up, Brown? What's up, man? Reversal bars for me plus 15 seconds. Nice.
Well, when you're trading, you'll find instruments talk to you more than others. So just because you Aaron has his way of trading. I have my way of trading. Doesn't mean that's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who trade S&P only. They only
Yep.
trade the Dow. They only
100%.
trade pound USD. There's so many. Well, I say pound USD, but I don't know many forex traders that are very good. The best traders I know are either index traders, majority are index traders, equities,
Yep.
or gold.
Yep.
I find gold it's the widowmaker, right? If you talk to anyone that works in the bigger business side of things, it's called the widowmaker. And there's certain things that they won't put money behind or traders behind. It's gold because it can just destroy people in every facet.
Yeah.
So I say it's the bringer of dreams and destroyer of souls.
Yeah.
Because you'll have some absolute home runs and like home runs. But then if you get stuck in that chop and it chops and you don't take profit, or you want to try and catch a big move, you get lost, you get drunk on the idea that every trade is going to be 300, 400 points, right? And the reality is 50 points is enough. Some people back in the day, when I used to first start trading, 20 points was enough.
Yeah, 100%. Right?
You could get that. Now it moves 20 ticks, in, like we saw just then, in not even a minute.
Yep.
So the market dynamics have changed completely over the past, 5 years or whatever, right? You can't 100%. Trade it the same way you used to trade it back before COVID. Like you just can't. Your stock violated non-stop. You see all these people on Instagram, Telegram saying, "Oh, I only risked 20 pips and I got, 200 out of it." But it's like you're only seeing the good side of it. You're not seeing all the losses. So they might have had to take certain losses in a row. And if someone's copying your trades or trying to emulate your trades, they might have a completely different risk appetite to you. So, and they might be broker backed. They might have an interactive broker behind them, so they can run accounts. You wouldn't know about it.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they've got a fresh account out of nowhere.
Yeah, man, it's even this year, like it was like pretty much for all of April, I massively reduced my size because even London on gold was moving like 200-300 ticks, which is like absolutely insane. Like this time last year, I was like, if I got 20 ticks in London session, I'd be happy. Now it's moving like 50 to 100 minimum.
Yeah.
Like, what's this range here? Almost 100 tick range. If you're on the wrong side of that range, you get chopped up all day long. Stop me out.
I just don't trust gold. That's my story. Oh. I was looking at silver the other day. The thing is, I think people, when they think of gold, they think of it being, why am I getting slipped on gold, especially on the CFD side?
Yeah.
It's just not liquid. It's not a liquid asset. People just assume because it's, gold, it's used by everyone, everything, la 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 la. It's not big. It's not big at all.
Yeah, even on the future side, you still get some random poor fill sometimes.
Yeah, because there's not much money behind it. You're comparing it to, Forex, which is trillions.
Yeah, huge.
Like,
huge.
Trillions moved a day, and you can't even compare them. They're not even the same creature, let alone the same thing.
Yeah.
And then equities, it's so liquid because everyone is always buying and selling that. It's just the world operates on business, right? So you're comparing two products, i.e. Forex and equities, which are just operating 24/7 non-stop, to a commodity that is used for, phones or, investing. It's not a real vehicle of like just constant movement for money flow. It's an investment, right? So it's harder to get people to sell it. But anyway, expect you not to talk too well on gold. It should be just in the back of your mind. You can't always make money.
100%. $1 any gold slander.
Yeah, fair. You got me.
Afternoon, bro. Hey, Nate, what's going on, man?
Let me change my camera back to my face.
Let's get you back on.
Screen share? Replica camera? What's that?
Let me see.
Oh, no, wait. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to see if I can make it so it plays my app.
Gold is king. Ignore this guy.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying don't expect your things to be filled 24/7.
Yeah.
No, I can't get it to do it. I just think gold's really like a really hard thing to trade. So if you're new to trading, it's just a whirlwind.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take on.
100%, man. What's Goldie up to today? It's it's gonna be interesting seeing the London Open for today on gold, especially with that huge drop down that we've seen at like 3 a.m. London time, Asian session, 300 ticks. It's a very big drop. Oh, there he is. He's back. There we go.
I'd be interested to see where gold, if gold pulls back to where your dashed line is there at the bottom. If it can get there and then bounce off there, then I'd be like, do you know what?
Yep.
Could be interested in some longs there. Yep. But it's one of them. It's a waiting, especially with gold, because we've had such a big move now. You just got to wait because the market doesn't just go straight down.
No, exactly.
Especially on gold, you can see, look, where it's had that big leg down there. It consolidated for freaking 10 hours and then made another move.
Yeah.
So it's whether can you handle the drawdown? Can you handle the weight? So I always find when you're back testing, you don't feel the trade. You don't feel stick through drawdown. You don't feel, profits in, 2 hours, go to 1 hour, go to 4 hour, then go to 1 hour. You don't feel that. You don't feel it. So that's why sometimes I'll just go stop loss or take profit.
Yep.
I shared a video, the other week? I was up 4 hours, but I wanted my 6 or 8 hours because that was my area. I'm like, it's either going to go, it's going to stop me out. And I managed to come out with a small loss, but then catch the counter trend and get my 4 hours anyway, right? But I gave the idea all the breathing room or the ability to trade out.
Yeah.
And some people aren't willing to do that.
And when it's pushed down,
break even.
And when it's pushed down this much, like these are the times where if you were watching this in backtesting session, you'd be skipping on the next couple of candles to see what happens. You wouldn't be trying to take trades down here backtesting. You'd be clicking it on and you'd be trying to see more price action. That's what you're gonna have to do in real markets as well. Yeah, one click of the mouse. Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. It was a very nice drop as well. It was a really good short. If I was on the charts, it made sense as well. But it's coming up to 7 a.m. man. So that hour absolutely flew by as well.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time to tune in, man. We'll do it again sometime soon. For any of you guys who if any guys do want to find you, they go onto Instagram. You're not on YouTube yet, but you're coming to YouTube, right?
Yeah, once I'm set up in Thailand, man, like it's no point me doing it here because I don't have the right environment, apparatus, etc. I could, but it would just be dog crap, and I'd rather not. If I'm gonna do dog crap, I'd rather be covered, in paradise doing dog crap.
But Instagram, that's where you're at, right?
Yeah, man, Insta. Get the stories on the daily. I try and do 2 videos a week pre-market, so you can see. And I'm very thankful that every time I've done that, the trade has played out. Luckily,
nice.
So like a free trade idea, I do give at least 2 a week on the DAX, and they slap.
Good man.
Plus, I'm just not a boring, look at my ego type trader. I'm just a guy that was in a van, now making it and coming back to my.
Love it, man. Love it. You guys on YouTube, be sure to check out Ash's Instagram, and I'll be live on the Topstep YouTube channel in about 30 minutes as well. And thank you very much, Ash, for tuning in. We'll do it again sometime soon.
Yeah, man, definitely.
All right, we'll see you guys soon. Cheers, guys.
Cool.